Let me ask you a question that might feel uncomfortable. When was the last time you let your partner see you, truly see you, with the lights on? If you are like thousands of women I have counseled, the answer is probably, I can't remember. There is a silent epidemic happening in bedrooms all over the world. It is not a virus. It is not a lack of love. It is the devastating belief that your body, in its current state, is no longer worthy of desire. You look in the mirror and you don't see the woman you used to be. You see the stretch marks that tell the story of motherhood. You see the softness around your waist that refuses to leave. You see gravity taking its toll. And somewhere along the way, a voice in your head whispered a cruel lie. Hide. So you turn off the lights. You cover up. You push intimacy away. Not because you don't want to be touched, but because you are terrified of being seen. If you feel a knot in your stomach right now, please do not scroll away. This video is not about weight loss. It is not about plastic surgery. It is about understanding why that voice in your head is wrong and how to reclaim the pleasure that is your birthright, right now, in the body you have today. First, I want to offer you a profound truth that you might not be ready to believe yet. What you are feeling is not vanity. It is not shallowness. And it is certainly not a character flaw. In a world that constantly screams that youth is beauty and aging is a failure, it is an act of rebellion to simply love yourself as you are. But let's be honest that rebellion is exhausting. I have sat with countless women, brilliant, successful, caring women who can command a boardroom or manage a chaotic household, yet they crumble the moment they stand naked before a mirror. They tell me, I feel like a stranger in my own skin. They talk about the invisible expiration date that society seems to stamp on women once they pass 40. They talk about the betrayal of their metabolism, the shifting texture of their skin, and the scars that life has left behind. But here is where the problem shifts from simply feeling bad to destroying your intimacy. Psychologists have a term for what happens when you turn off the lights to hide. It is called spectatoring. Imagine this. You are in a moment of intimacy with your partner. Ideally, your brain should be fully immersed in the sensation, the touch of skin, the warmth, the pleasure. But instead, a part of your mind detaches. You become a spectator, a third person in the room, watching yourself. You aren't feeling the kiss. You are wondering if your chin looks double from this angle. You aren't enjoying the caress. You are worrying if he can feel the roll of fat on your hip. You are constantly adjusting the sheets to cover up, sucking in your stomach until you can barely breathe. When you do this, you are not making love. You are performing. You are managing a crisis. And scientifically, this is a disaster for your libido. When you judge your body, your brain interprets that self-criticism as a threat. It triggers the release of cortisol, stress hormone. Here is the biological reality. Cortisol is the enemy of arousal. It is a survival mechanism. Your body cannot prioritize sexual pleasure when it thinks it is being attacked, even if the attacker is your own mind. So, you shut down, the moisture disappears, the desire vanishes, and you are left thinking, what is wrong with me? Why don't I want this anymore? Nothing is wrong with you, but something is very wrong with the lens through which you are viewing yourself. My name is Persona Name, and I am a sexual wellness and relationship guide. My work is not about giving you diet tips or selling you anti-aging creams. My mission is to help you rebuild the bridge between your mind and your body. I am here to help you navigate the complex emotional and physiological landscape of womanhood from 30 to 60. I operate on a simple philosophy. You cannot hate yourself into a better sex life. Shame is not an aphrodisiac. In this documentary, we are going to dismantle the mirror's lie. We are going to look at the science of attraction, which is far more complex and forgiving than fashion magazines would have you believe. We will uncover why your partner likely sees something completely different than what you see. And most importantly, I will give you the psychological tools to silence that inner critic, so you can stop watching yourself and start feeling again. We are going to move from a place of hiding to a place of inhabiting, because you deserve to be seen. And more than that, you deserve to enjoy being seen. Are you ready to drop the judgment and pick up the truth? Let's begin by exposing the biggest myths that have been holding you hostage. To reclaim your confidence, we must first identify the invisible chains that are holding you back. These are the myths, the big lies that you have absorbed from culture, media, and perhaps even your own upbringing. Let's dismantle them, one by one, with the truth of human psychology and sexual science. Myth number 1. Men are visual creatures, so he needs perfection to be aroused. This is the most damaging lie of all. We are told that men operate like light switches turned on only by visual perfection: a flat stomach, perky breasts, smooth skin. You believe that if you don't look like that, you cannot possibly be the source of his desire. Here is the scientific reality. While visual cues are important to the male brain, they are not the primary driver of sustained desire in a long-term relationship. Sexual researchers have found that for a partner who loves you, the most potent aphrodisiac is not your waist size, it is your enthusiasm. It is what we call erotic responsiveness. When you hide, when you cover up, when you are stiff with anxiety, you are sending a signal of rejection. You are signaling, I am not here. That kills desire far faster than any stretch mark ever could. Your partner does not want a mannequin. He wants you. He wants to see you enjoying him. He wants to witness your pleasure. When you let go and allow yourself to be lost in the moment, that surrender is infinitely more sexually compelling than a perfect body that is cold and detached. Myth number 2. I need to fix my body before I can have a great sex life. You tell yourself, I'll initiate sex when I lose 10 pounds. I'll buy lingerie when I get that laser treatment. This is the destination trap. You are postponing your life for a version of yourself that may never exist or simply doesn't need to exist. The truth is, sexual confidence is not an outcome of looking good. It is a byproduct of feeling good. It works from the inside out, not the outside in. Confidence comes from interoception, your ability to feel what is happening inside your body. By focusing on the sensation of touch, the rhythm of breath, and the heat of skin, you bypass the critical voice in your brain. You don't need to look perfect to feel pleasure. And ironically, the more you focus on feeling pleasure, the more radiant and confident you appear to your partner. Myth number 3. My body is ruined by age and motherhood. I hear this word so often. Ruined. It implies that you were once a pristine object, and now you are broken. Let's reframe this immediately. Your body is not a car that depreciates in value, it is a living vessel of your history. Those stretch marks, they are the maps of creating life. That softness, it is the comfort of maturity. In Japan, there is an art form called kintsugi, where broken pottery is repaired with gold. The break is not hidden, it is highlighted. The object becomes more beautiful because it has been broken. Your body at 40, 50, or 60 has a depth that a 20-year-old body cannot possess. You have experience, you have emotional intelligence. You know what you want. Stop apologizing for the history written on your skin. The belief that you are damaged goods is a psychological construct, not a biological fact. Your nerve endings still work. Your capacity for oxytocin and dopamine release is still there. The machinery of pleasure is intact. It is only the operator who has gone on strike. So, how do we get the operator back to work? How do we take these truths and apply them to a real life that feels messy and complicated? To show you how this transformation happens, I want to tell you the story of someone you might recognize. Let's meet Sarah. Meet Sarah. She is 48 years old, a marketing executive, and a mother of 2 teenagers. To the outside world, Sarah is confident and put together. But inside her bedroom, she is waging a silent war against herself. For the past 3 years, Sarah has developed a rigid ritual. She changes into her pajamas and the bathroom door locked. When she enters the bedroom, the lights must be off, pitch black. Her husband, Mark, has stopped trying to initiate intimacy on most nights. Not because he doesn't want her, but because he feels her freeze up the moment his hand touches her waist. Let's zoom in on a typical Tuesday night. This is the moment where the mirror's lie takes control. Sarah is lying in bed. Mark reaches over and rests his hand on her stomach, a gesture of affection. Immediately, Sarah's brain goes into panic mode. She doesn't feel his warmth, she feels her own flaws. Her internal monologue screams, he's feeling the role of fat. He's wondering why my skin is so loose. He's comparing me to how I looked when we met at 25. So, she subtly shifts away. She sucks in her stomach, holding her breath. She creates physical distance to protect herself from her own shame. To Mark, this signal is clear but misinterpreted. He doesn't hear her internal monologue about weight. He just feels his wife pulling away. He thinks, she's not interested in me. I am bothering her. So, he rolls over and goes to sleep. The gap between them in the bed is only a few inches. But emotionally, it is an ocean. The breaking point comes on their 20th wedding anniversary. They are at a beautiful beach resort. The setting is romantic sunset, wine, a private villa. Sarah puts on a dress she bought for the occasion. It has no sleeves. In the hotel mirror, she catches a glimpse of her upper arms. The inner critic attacks. Look at that. You can't wear this. Everyone will stare. She changes into a baggy shirt and trousers. When she walks out, Mark looks disappointed. Not because of the outfit, but because he saw her excitement vanish. At dinner, the silence is heavy. Finally, Mark puts down his fork and asks, "Sarah, is there someone else?" Sarah is shocked. "What? No. How could you ask that?" Mark's voice cracks. "Because you won't let me touch you. You hide from me. You turn away every time I look at you. If you don't love me anymore, just tell me." That was the moment the lie shattered. Sarah realized that her body image issue wasn't just about her body. It was actively destroying her marriage. Her attempt to hide her flaws was being read as a rejection of her husband's love. In tears, Sarah admitted the truth. "It's not you, Mark. It's me. I hate my body. I feel old. I feel ugly. I don't want you to see me because I'm ashamed." Mark looked at her, genuinely confused. "Sarah," he said, "I don't see the stretch marks. I don't see the wrinkles. When I look at you, I see the woman who built a life with me. I see the body that gave me my children, and when you hide it, you are hiding my wife from me. I miss her." That night, they didn't have wild sex. But they did something more important. They went back to the room. Sarah didn't turn off all the lights. She left a dim lamp on in the corner. It was terrifying for her. The spectator in her brain was still there, whispering, "Cover up." But she chose to focus on something else. She focused on Mark's eyes. She focused on the sensation of his hand on her skin, forcing herself to stay present in the feeling, rather than escaping into judgment. For the first time in years, she wasn't performing. She was just there. And she realized that the world didn't end because her stomach wasn't flat. In fact, her world just started opening up again. This story of Sarah is not a fairy tale. It is a roadmap. It shows us that the path to reclaiming confidence doesn't start with a diet. It starts with a conversation first with yourself, and then with your partner. But why exactly did Sarah's brain react that way? And how can you replicate her breakthrough without waiting for a crisis? Let's analyze the psychology behind this transformation. Let's dismantle what happened to Sarah using the lens of science. Her breakthrough wasn't magic, it was a shift in neurological processing. To understand how you can achieve this same freedom, we need to analyze 3 specific psychological mechanisms that were at play. 1. The spotlight effect and cognitive distortion. Sarah was suffering from a classic cognitive distortion known as mind reading. She was convinced she knew exactly what Mark was thinking. "He sees my fat. He thinks I'm old." In psychology, we call this the spotlight effect. It is the tendency to believe that people are noticing our flaws far more than they actually are. Here is the truth. During intimacy, the male brain is often flooded with dopamine and testosterone. These neurochemicals create a state of tunnel vision. Biologically, a man's arousal is focused on the act and the response, not the minute details of the aesthetics. When Sarah stopped mind reading and actually asked Mark, she broke the feedback loop. She replaced her assumption, which was causing her pain, with data, Mark's actual words. 2. The shift from exteroception to interoception. This is the most critical concept for your sexual confidence. Exteroception is the perception of stimuli outside the body, primarily what you see. When Sarah looks in the mirror or watches herself during sex, spectatoring, she is using exteroception. She is objectifying herself. Interoception is the perception of sensations inside the body. It is feeling your heartbeat, feeling the warmth of skin, feeling the expansion of breath. When Sarah decided to keep the dim light on but focus on Mark's eyes and his touch, She consciously switched her neural pathway from exteroception to interoception. You cannot judge yourself and feel pleasure at the same time. The brain cannot process high-level critical thinking, prefrontal cortex activity, and deep sexual immersion, limbic system activity simultaneously. By forcing her brain to focus on the feeling, interoception, she effectively silenced the judgment, exteroception. 3. The power of sensate focus. What Sarah and Mark inadvertently practiced is a clinical technique used by sex therapists called sensate focus. This technique removes the goal of performance or orgasm and places the entire goal on sensation. By taking the pressure off, you lower cortisol levels. When cortisol drops, your body's natural arousal system can finally function again. Sarah didn't become confident because her body changed. She became confident because she changed the goal of the encounter. The goal shifted from looking perfect to shared connection. The scientific conclusion. Confidence at midlife is not about convincing yourself you look like a 20-year-old. It is about realizing that your 40, 50, or 60-year-old body is a highly capable sensory instrument. The mirror's lie is telling you that you are an image to be looked at. The scientific truth is that you are a being designed to experience. So, how do we turn this analysis into a practical action plan? How can you, starting tonight, begin to rewire your brain away from the mirror and back into the bedroom? I have designed a simple, 3-step roadmap for you. You do not need to wait for a crisis like Sarah's to make a change. You can start reclaiming your confidence today. Here is your 3-step action plan to break the mirror's lie. Step 1. Practice the neutral gaze. The leap from, I hate my body, to I love my body is too big for most of us to make in one day. So let's aim for something achievable. Neutrality. Tonight, I want you to stand before the mirror. Do not turn away. Instead of judging, I want you to describe what you see using only factual, neutral language. Instead of saying, my thighs are flabby and gross, say, my legs are strong. They carry me through the day. Instead of saying, my stomach is a mess, say, my stomach is soft. It has held life. This practice rewires your brain. It stops the automatic negative firing and trains you to see your body as a functional, living vessel rather than an aesthetic object to be critiqued. Step 2. Sensory mapping. The 5-minute rule. For the next week, I challenge you to try sensory mapping. This can be done alone or with a partner. Dedicate just 5 minutes to touch, but with a strict rule. No sexual goal. Run your hands over your own skin or have your partner stroke your arm, your back, your hair. Your only job is to close your eyes and ask yourself, what is the texture? Is it warm? Is it cool? Does it tingle? If your mind drifts to, do I look fat? Gently bring it back to, what do I feel? This builds your interoception muscle. It teaches your body that touch is safe and that you don't need to look a certain way to deserve the sensation of kindness. Step 3. The brave conversation. This is the hardest but most rewarding step. You need to break the silence with your partner. You don't need a speech. You just need honesty. Try saying this. I've been struggling with my confidence lately, and sometimes I pull away not because I don't want you, but because I feel insecure about my body. I need your help to get out of my head and stay in the moment. By saying this, you release the shame. You turn your partner from a judge into an ally. You will be surprised at how much relief comes from simply speaking the truth. Conclusion. Ladies, the mirror is just a piece of glass. It cannot tell you your worth. It cannot measure the depth of your passion, the warmth of your embrace, or the love you are capable of giving and receiving. You have spent enough years apologizing for taking up space. You have spent enough energy trying to shrink. It is time to turn the lights back on. Not because you are perfect, but because you are present. Because you are here. Because you are a woman who deserves to be seen, fully and unapologetically. Your sexual confidence is not lost. It is simply waiting for you to stop watching yourself, so you can start being yourself. If this message resonated with you, you are not alone. There is a whole community of women here navigating this exact journey. Please subscribe to this channel and share this video with a friend who needs to hear it. Next week, we will go even deeper into the physiology of pleasure at midlife. I am her truth. Remember, Your body is not a problem to be solved. It is a home to be inhabited. Welcome home.